Hey you, how are you feeling? Vegan Truth Seeker here. In this video I'm going to talk about the Catholic Church, or Catholic religion if you will, and the immense hypocrisy ruling the Vatican. So, after many decades of sexual abuse of children and nuns by Catholic priests, Pope Francis and the Catholic Church were finally forced to publicly deal with this issue. Not out of the goodness of their hearts, but because fortunately more victims are speaking out and the media have finally started doing their job and informing people of what's been going on inside the Catholic Church. For the past few decades, thousands of priests all over the world have raped and sexually molested tens of thousands, if not more, of children and nuns. These were not isolated cases, but rather a common practice within the Church. And just as serious as these criminal activities was the massive cover-up by those higher in the hierarchy of the Church. Now, apparently, Pope Francis wants this criminal practice exposed and eradicated, but I'll only believe it if internally in the Vatican it does the following. Demands that every suspicion of sexual abuse is reported immediately to the authorities, and the alleged perpetrators and those protecting them are immediately suspended until the investigation by the authorities is finished. If they are found guilty, they must be expelled from the Church and handed to the authorities right away, and orders the Church to compensate all the victims and their families, no matter how long ago they suffered the abuse. If this doesn't happen, then the recent summit on clergy sexual abuse was a publicity stunt to clean the image of the Church. If you suffered or are still suffering at the hands of a priest, or know someone in that position, please report it to the authorities, no matter how much it pains you. Silence only protects the abusers, not the victims. If you speak out, you could prevent someone else from suffering at the hands of a sexual predator. If you only suspect some wrongdoing but have no evidence, tell the authorities nonetheless. Better safe than sorry. So, all religions are a business, whether you like it or not. The Catholic Church is no exception. What I don't understand is why religious people can't see this or don't want to see it. What kind of gods are you praying to that you need a building, whether it's a church, mosque, temple, whatever, and an organized religion to communicate with him or her? Well, that's not a very good God if you need the physical world involved to communicate with him or her. But let's get back to the Catholic Church. When it comes to hypocrisy and lies, it's the worst religion of them all, and I'll explain why. Well, the massive cover-up of sexual abuses went on for decades, if not more. Sexual abuses inside the Church, besides being criminal and monstrous, also prove that celibacy doesn't work. Celibacy is not in the Bible and it goes against human nature. Therefore, why do they insist on maintaining it? It makes no sense. It's the only religion that has its own country. The Vatican is, for all intents and purposes, a sovereign country. Additionally, they have their own bank, not a bank operating in the Vatican, but a bank of their own. I don't believe Jesus ever existed, but isn't it in the Bible that he expelled all the merchants and money changers from the temple? And wasn't he born in a stable and lived a life of poverty and service to others? What the F? It's the opposite of what the Church does. They have opulent temples and in addition probably have hundreds of billions of dollars in assets. What about the Catholic sanctuaries, which are nothing more than profitable businesses? What's wrong with this picture? They base their church on Christ and his teachings, yet they do the exact opposite. If Pope Francis truly wanted to change the church, he would publicly announce that the Catholic Church was going to sell all its real estate and its possessions and use all the money to help those in need worldwide, and also that all the priests would now live like Jesus. If he announced this publicly, he would have the support of the people, and thus all of those inside the church against him would have no power to prevent it from happening. The church, by not allowing women to have an equal role inside the church, is helping to perpetuate gender discrimination. Also, homosexuality is still regarded as something evil inside the church. And why doesn't the church pay taxes like the rest of us? At least it doesn't where I live. And what kind of God is the Catholic God that he, and why is it a male figure, that he allows a church that rapes children and women, that is extremely wealthy while so many live in extreme poverty, to continue to preach in his name? Why doesn't he do anything? If someone preached in my name and committed all those atrocities, I would stop them immediately, and I'm just a mere human. Well, is it because there is no God, and for that matter, no Allah, Buddha, and so on? I'm not even going to talk about the Inquisition and the wars the Church was involved in during the Middle Ages. The Catholic Church was built on blood and death. Okay, these are the main points that prove that the Catholic religion is pure bullshit. If after all you know about the Catholic religion, you continue to be Catholic and supporting the Church, then you're supporting the rape of children and nuns, the hoarding of wealth by the Church while millions die in poverty, the discrimination against women and gay people, the spread of lies, and the use of your God to make the Vatican wealthier and more powerful. So, what can you do? Again, if you need the physical world involved to be in communion with your God, then he or she isn't that powerful, or you're not doing it correctly. Go somewhere quiet, relax, go inside yourself and meditate. You don't need to go to a church or listen to a priest or clergyman to do that. Stop supporting the Catholic Church, or any other for that matter. Be kind to others and help them directly, and then you'll be doing what did Jesus in the Bible did. It's not by sitting in a church listening to a priest that you're doing what you call God's work. On the contrary, you're doing nothing other than being a hypocrite. Get together with your loved ones and help others directly. Go to those in need and ask them how you can help them. Help animals, help nature. Then you're actually contributing to change the world. Something you're not doing when you support an organized religion. Pope Francis might even have good intentions, but good intentions lead nowhere if they're not accompanied by real actions and change. And again, all he has to do is to publicly say he truly wants the Church to follow Christ's teachings, and that he needs all the Catholics to help him carry out that change. Until then, all his words are empty words that have no real value. Actions before words. Okay, that's a wrap for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment my videos. Until next time, try to be happy and make others happy. So, bye.